Go.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We have made some incredible progress in medication. From vaccinations for some of the most harmful diseases and viruses, to drugs that you take when you can't sleep, to pills that you take when you can't get it up, for gentlemen out there. We've found solutions for many of the most prominent biological problems. And there's no denying that a portion of these successes were in part thanks to animal experimentation. The studies that scientists have been able to perform on animals have, in some cases, helped keep us safer and further mankind. But there are several problems with that now. It has only helped us keep us safer and further mankind in some cases, and in the present day, these tests are losing their validity when compared to current day alternatives that our technology has provided us. I'm here to tell you all why I think that animal experimentation should be illegal in this day and age, and why I think you should think that too. Now, first I want to touch on the ethics involved. Animals have no say in any of this matter. They're living beings, but they can't speak out what their thoughts are. It's inhumane and immoral for us to just take their right to life away by performing experiments on them. Animals are not resources to us, and beyond that, they aren't renewable resources. We already have several animals on the brink of extinction. Animal experimentation is also being held out of our sight. That's showing that companies are keeping this away from the public because if they showed it, they know that people might falter on their thoughts on animal experimentation. Also, a lot of the animal experimentation going on by a lot of these companies is completely unnecessary. Models would do fine for educational purposes. Like in class, instead of dissecting a frog, maybe you could just look at a computer model or just a physical model. The drugs that are tested on by animals and are the most prominent and least detrimental for humans aren't worth the animals that they harmed. A study by Elsevier analyzed in pharmacological profile of the nicotinic acetylchlorine receptor part, an effective social cessation aid, had animals smoking cigarettes. Don't we already know that cigarettes are harmful to humans? Why do we need to force animals to make the same mistakes that we have? In the book Lethal Laws, Animal Testing, Human Health, and Environmental Policies, Alex Fano states that though many scientists believe that rodent tumors are substantially different from human tumors, both in origin and in the way that they metastasize, the rodent carcinogenous bioassay, which involves exposing rats and mice of both sexes to chemicals and monitoring the animals for tumor development, has become a standard test for identifying possible human carcinogens. That's showing that even though they know they're completely different, they're still running these tests. Even worse, a lot of animal experimentation isn't even being used to further humanity, but for minor and feeble reasons like cosmetics. Do we really need more shades of eyeliner or eyeshadow? Is it worth it to blind thousands of animals just to get these out? Many animal experimentations are also being unnecessarily repeated, causing even more harm and pointless pain to these animals. In the article, Replacement of Animal Procedures, Alternatives in Research, Education, and Testing, they said that even in the case that animal experimentation does continue, the improved storage, exchange, and use of the information about animal experiments that have already been carried out is necessary so that unnecessary repetition of animal procedures can be avoided. Now, maybe you don't agree with me on all of these. But based on your surveys, I can tell that you all value human lives over animal lives, which is understandable. I'm not here to argue just for animals, though. I'm here to argue for you to protect us all as well. One of the most major reasons why animal experimentation should be stopped is that it's not reliable for human use anyways, and alternatives are much better. Most support for animal experimentation comes from mistaken values. Unlike many people think, the values being compared aren't the values of animal life versus human life. They're the values of animal life versus a slight possibility in improving human life. only slight though. Experimentation is not always accurate, and often doesn't pass the human testing stage after anyway. Animals can be killed in experiments that don't even go further past that. Animal experimentation and successful drugs do not go hand in hand. In the article by Andrew Knight and the Animal Consultants International in London, UK, it recalls a drug catastrophe, no pun intended. It states a recent notorious example was the arthritis drug, Vioxx, which appeared to be safe and even beneficial to the heart, but in animal studies. However, Vioxx was withdrawn from the global market in 2004 after causing 27,000 confirmed deaths, but as many as 140,000 heart attacks and possibly over 60,000 deaths in the USA alone. We're a different species. We've got completely different genetics, and we respond to and metabolize different substances differently. There are also alternatives that we could look to. We call ourselves a technologically advanced society, yet we still continue to engage in the savage act of animal experimentation. For educational purposes, as I've said, models and virtual reality could do well. This not only saves animals, but also saves our schools money and saves class time. In an article titled "Exploring New Approaches to Assess Safety Without Animal Testing," they say that today improved non-animal in vitro and in silicio models are becoming increasingly available, and new technologies such as proteomics and bioinformatics approaches enable us to generate and interpret new types of non-animal data. Now, not only is animal experimentation immoral and wrong, but it is also abused for many vain reasons, and even when it is used for possibly helpful reasons, successful animal experimentations do not mean successful human use. We need to start looking at safer, more humane, and more accurate alternatives, some of which already exist. So next time America needs a new Viagra, why don't you get your own boner and leave the animals out of it? Thank you.